Hey guys, it's Jesus and End Time 777 here, bringing you the word and end time prophecy. I do have to apologize for being a bit late on videos, like actually making videos of me talking, because I have been making videos. That last video, the previous video I made, did take some time to make, and I did have my aunt over this weekend, and we were gone most of the time. So I was wondering, I was like, man, when am I going to be able to get back on the camera again? So here I am. Mondays through Fridays, it's gonna have to be now, because it's like, over the weekends, it's just like I'm always cramped with stuff. So anyway, right before we jumped into Bible prophecy, I wanted to read you guys Matthew 24. Matthew 24. I'm pretty sure you guys, Bible people out there, pretty sure you guys already know what Matthew 24 is about. Just in case you don't, I will read it, and I want to read it just to assure people that we are on the day Jesus spoke of. This is not the King James Version. This is actually just an Abundant Life New Testament book. It only has a New Testament. It's not KJV, but I'll try to translate some of the stuff into what I know from King James Version. So here I go. I'm reading this just to reassure you guys. Matthew 24. Jesus foretells the future. As Jesus was leaving the temple grounds, his disciples pointed out to him the various temple buildings, but he responded, "Do you see all these buildings? I tell you the truth. They will be completely demolished. No stone will be left on top of another." Later, Jesus sat on the Mount of Olives. His disciples came to him privately and said, "Tell us, when will all this happen? What will be the sign of the end of the age?" Jesus told them, "Don't let anyone mislead you, for many will come in my name, claiming, 'I am the Messiah.' They will deceive many, and you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. But do not panic. Yes, these things must take place, but the end won't follow immediately. Nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines and earthquakes in many parts of the world, but all this is only the first of the birth pains, with more to come. Then you will be arrested, persecuted, and killed. You will be hated all over the world because you are my followers. And many will turn away from me and betray and hate each other. And many false prophets will appear and will deceive many people. Sin will be rampant everywhere, and the love of many will grow cold. But the one who endures to the end," making sure you guys understand that part, "will be saved. And the good news about the kingdom will be preached throughout the whole world so that all nations will hear it. And then the end will come." The day is coming when you will see what Daniel the prophet spoke about, the sacrilegious object that causes desecration, standing in the holy place. Then those in Judea must flee to the hills. A person out on the deck of a roof must not go down into his house to pack. A person out in the field must not return even to get a coat. How terrible it will be for a pregnant woman and nursing mothers in those days. And pray that your flight will not be in winter or on the Sabbath. I wonder why on Sabbath. Just thinking. For there will be great anguish than at any time since the world began, and it will never be so great again. In fact, unless that time of calamity is shortened, not a single person will survive, but it will be shortened for the sake of God's chosen ones. No, the part that I'm about to read next, please listen to. I have not many, but I do have people, I don't want to say specific names, but I would tell them this part, and I was just really shocked. They were like, "Wait, so when is Jesus coming?" The part when he says, verse 23, chapter 24, let me just read it right now. "Then if anyone tells you, 'Look, here is the Messiah,' or 'There he is,' don't believe it." And then, I'm not going to point names, but I'm not going to say names, but I would have people be like, "Well, there he is, if people say that, then where is he? Where is this Messiah that you claim to have?" Well, can I finish reading? Thank you. Don't believe it. For false messiahs and false prophets will rise up and perform great signs and wonders so as to deceive, if possible, even God's chosen ones. See, I have warned you about this ahead of time. So if someone tells you, look, the Messiah is out in the desert, don't go bother and look. Or, look, he is hiding here. Don't believe it. Pay attention to this part, because what I'm about to read tells you when Jesus is coming back, and it tells you how you cannot miss his coming. Come on, watch this. For as the lightning flashes in the east and shines to the west, so it will be when the Son of Man comes. Just as the gathering of vultures shows there is a carcass nearby, so these signs indicate that the end is near. Immediately after the anguish of those days, the sun will be darkened. The moon will give no light. The stars will fall from the sky, and the powers in the heavens will be shaken. How can you miss those 4 signs, people? And then at last, the sign that the Son of Man is coming will appear in the heavens, and there will be deep mourning among all the peoples of the earth, and they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he will send out his angels in the mighty blast of a trumpet, and they will gather his chosen ones from all over the world, from the farthest ends of the earth and heaven. There you have it. That's when Jesus is coming. How can you miss him? I don't think Jesus, like the false prophets that we see today, deceiving many, as he said, I don't think that Jesus has to be the one saying, hey, I'm Jesus, if you're looking for me, I'm right here. He doesn't have to do that. Or, guys, I'm Jesus, hello, I'm over here. He doesn't have to do that. Every eye will see him. He will be coming on the clouds with power and great glory. There will be a great earthquake. The sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give her light. How can you miss those signs? Those are key signs, people. And the only reason why, I put a little more emphasis on that part is because, a lot of people are... I don't want to point names, but then again, I want to. People are like, when is Jesus coming? And it just kind of bothers me, because it's like, man, just read the Bible. It tells you everything. If you just read it, if you constantly read it, I'm sorry, I'm really talking to a specific someone here, then you'll know. I just really want people to know about the Bible, because the world is lost. The world is definitely lost today. Now, from the previous video, or was it? No, it was 2 videos ago, I showed you my notebook recordings regarding the end times. In fact, that was the name of it. So, I did update it. I highlighted the most important parts. I mean, I had a lot of important parts, but I highlighted the most important. I read these already. I'm not going to go through them again. If you want to know what I said about these end time events, check out my the video. I think it's titled, my notebook recordings regarding the end times. Check out that video and you'll see what all this says, because I want to move along and share with you guys and update you guys on what's been happening so far these past couple weeks, past month. Okay, let's get into it. And a lot has been happening, people. I'm serious. A lot has been happening. In fact, I didn't want to write all of what's been happening because I would have finished my notebook. See how thick this is? Yeah, believe it or not, that would have been gone, especially considering the fact that it is a small notebook. So, let's get into it. October 2013, government shutdown ends, but could it have been a setup like 9/11? People believe, yes, I do personally believe that the government shutdown was a setup to cause revolution and civil unrest in America. Okay. Why do I believe it? Well, I tell you this because it's like, I have evidence to prove it. And look, just on, and I'm not the only one either, there's lots of other people out there that believe this was a setup. Just prior to the government shutdown happening, I think, it was the government. The government purchased about some $20 million in ammunition, which is about a year and a half's worth of ammunition. And the reason why it came to so much money, it was actually, I forgot how much. It was like 20. I forgot. It was a lot of money, people. It was like 100 million. It was some mess like that. They bought these special bullets that when they shoot at you and go inside and break open to your skin, it actually explodes. Well, not so explodes, but it what's the word? I guess you could say expand. It goes into your skin and it kind of like that. The reason why I point this out is because I think that the government shutdown is supposed to cause civil unrest in America, leading or civil unrest, aka a revolution in America, and especially after the Affordable Health Care Act. Not really. It's supposed to cause civil unrest in America because people aren't buying into this. They don't want to buy into this Obamacare stuff. And the government shutdown, which had to stop government, federal, owned properties and jobs, had to be taken away. People are getting mad and protesting against it, which also contributes to the civil unrest that's going on in America. Obamacare is in effect, and over 15 million Americans are losing health insurance. I really feel bad for this world, and I do pray for it in my heart. I just hope that this world would get better, because we are seeing things are moving so fast at an unprecedented rate. Jesus' Bible prophecy does correspond to the secret society, whatever you want to call them, Illuminati, whatever, taking control of the world. But it's like Jesus already knew that people would want to take control of the world. But then there's going to be a son of perdition. Son of perdition, one that will rule all. I don't know who that's going to be. And he will rule all of the world. Picking up from what I read. America on the brink of martial law. Just in case for those who don't know what martial law is when the government gives the military lots of power to do pretty much whatever they want. If you guys have ever seen the movie V for Vendetta, that it's kind of like that. They were fighting for their independence, but then, in terms of martial law, the military could have power to, make city curfew limits. So, for example, you better get in at 9 o'clock or else you're going to be shot on sight. That's an example. They can arrest you and, put you in jail without reason or trial. Why do I bring up martial law? America on the brink of martial law. I bring this up because this is what he's doing. He may have not said, I'm bringing martial law upon America, but it's coming. It's happening. It's in the process of coming here. There's been videos, you can look them up. There's been videos of soldiers and tanks and stuff in the streets, just like in normal streets, just patrolling. It's like they're getting ready, then again, the ammunition, and then you have the martial law that goes together. Getting ready for some type of civil unrest in America, all a part of their little plan. But then again, those who don't know the Lord and don't know the truth are out there wondering what's going on. I'd say, pick up a Bible, you'll find out. People these days. I'm pretty sure you guys have all heard this story. The House stenographer was pulled off stage just prior to the government shutdown ending, and this is what she said. We are not one nation under God. It never was. The Constitution wouldn't have been written by Freemasons. You cannot serve two masters. She was called to mental help and taken to a mental institution. I believe it's a warning from God. People, they want to excuse this. Your average American who doesn't read the Bible, who doesn't go to church, who is not into the Word, will excuse this as, oh, she stood up for herself, good for her, or she's crazy. Pretty much. One of those two options. But if you're a person of Christ, you want to take this as a warning. God's trying to show us something. You could say that she did stand up for herself, which she did, but then you also want to look deeper into it. Like, this is a warning from God. All she was doing was trying to expose the truth about the government. That can't be that bad. But then the government's like, shh, don't tell them that we have plans to basically ruin the nation. We have plans to do this. If you, the previous video that I made, I think that was like the first clip I showed. And when she was talking in the previous video I showed the house stenographer being pulled off stage for saying these things. You could actually hear people in the background when she was saying these things, as she was saying them. They were like, shh, like, no, don't tell them what we're doing. Don't expose the truth. We don't want the American people to know the truth. People nowadays are just so crazy. There will be spiritual wickedness in high places. The government's a high place. I'm not sure if the Constitution was written by Freemasons. I was always taught to believe that we were founded on Christian morals. But then again, with the government we have nowadays, can you really trust what they say and the textbooks that they want us to have? There's things in history that are probably more important than the American Revolution that they don't give to us. Maybe because it has some type of... Maybe because they just don't want it. I don't know. Whatever the government's thinking, where they are at right now, I don't know. The government is crazy. Spiritual wickedness in high places. House stenographer trying to expose the truth. Great example. Jesus told us about these times, but yet we just want to excuse them as... I don't know. That's the world for you. That is the world for you. And what else? Comet Eson. This has been making the headlines lately. A comet spotted back in, I think it was 2011, is to be visible on November 28th through the 29th, 2013. It will be the comet of the century according to NASA, 10 times brighter than the moon, and will be visible in broad daylight. People, you have to understand that this comet is no ordinary comet. Maybe it is just an ordinary comet, but from what I see, and pretty much from what everyone else sees, I'm not sure if you guys see it, this comet, NASA says that this comet is either to be disappointing or exciting. What does that mean? Well, I don't think they mean disappointing as in it won't make a good... I don't think they mean that the comet we won't be able to see it. Not that disappointing, but in terms of disappointing, scary disappointing. This Comet Eson now has two tails. A comet only having one, this one has two. This comet is to be the comet of the century. I watched a video, I forgot who, I think it was just one of those recommended things on YouTube. I clicked on it, and it was about Comet Eson. And some guy was saying how this kicks off the abomination of desolation, which I don't think it will. But then again, whoever this person was saying in the video that, when it was talking about something like Comet Eson, the passage was, what was it? It was something, I forgot what book, but it was something 11:29, chapter 11, verse 29. And he was like, isn't it a strange coincidence that the book that was talking about this, verse 11, or chapter 11, verse 29, it says something similar to this. November, the 11th month of the year. And then you have the 28th through the 29th. So he was saying, look, the comet's going to be visible on 11:29, and the Bible talks about something like this on, I forgot what book, but it was chapter 11, verse 29. Coincidence? I think not. There are no coincidences with God, but I don't think it'll kick off the abomination of desolation. People call this biblical and part of Bible prophecy. Let's jump into some more tragic things that we've been seeing. November 7th through present, through right now, apocalyptic typhoon. The mega typhoon kills 10,000 people in the Philippines. This is the worst, I guess you could say, natural disaster since Hurricane Katrina back in 2005 when that hit New Orleans. I pray for those people. Where did that typhoon even come from? That's what I wonder. But then again, Jesus told us of these times. People just want to excuse it. You know, I was on Yahoo last night and I saw questions of people saying, if there's a God, how come he didn't save the people in the Philippines from this hurricane? Or from this typhoon? And I was like, you need Jesus, brother. You need Jesus. You need him. I mean, because you have to really picture this typhoon in the Philippines is a huge typhoon. This is not your average typhoon. They said this is probably one of the worst, get this, this is probably one of the worst recorded typhoons in history. You know, I was thinking about this one day, but it seems that every single report, almost every single report that we get regarding natural disasters, they always start off with this. This has been the worst, this is the worst earthquake since, or this is a new breaking record. They're always starting off with that now. It's not, oh, and this earthquake happened here. Almost everything you hear on the news is, we haven't had this happen since 1860 or whatever, or 1943, whatever. It's like, God's trying to get our attention. But then people would just want to excuse it as normal. Normal. Sometimes I wish the word normal wasn't even invented. Maybe people would start looking at the Bible more. Predator drones to be used in the war soon. Obama, I remember watching his speech. This is exactly what he said. He said, 2 words. I'm going to try to do my Obama impersonation. He said this during a speech. 2 words. Predator drones. And then the people in the crowd started to laugh. They're like, ha ha ha. And he's like, oh, so you think I'm joking? Right there. Predator drones. You know, it's scary because I've only seen these Predator drones in, like, video games and stuff. Black Ops 2, for you video game players out there. It's kind of scary what these Predator drones can do. They can, they're actually hooked. I did some research, and I kind of know it for myself. These Predator drones are actually hooked and wired to do, it's kind of like having a remote control airplane. You know those little things where you got the remote control in your hand and you can control the airplane? It's kind of like that. And you can, you know, you're the guy, you know, the government, the military, or the people with the controllers. And, you know, but it's not like that. It's scarier than that. These Predator drones will be able to think for themselves and kill if told to. So it's kind of like this is right out of a fictional movie. Things that I saw from Star Wars and from Terminator. It's like they're popping right out at us. Unprecedented things, fearful sights, as Jesus said. 9-month peace talks between Israel and Palestine. You know, this is exactly what I wrote. I wrote 9-month peace talks between Israel and Palestine, and then right after I wrote that, I wrote 9,9,9. And I did that, I'm like, 9. Then I put dash. 9 months is the time it takes for a woman to give birth to a child. Jesus said these are the beginning of birth pains. Could this beginning, I mean, we're in the beginning of birth pains, but isn't it, there are no coincidences with God, but I guess you could say, isn't it weird for these peace talks to be 9 months? 9. Why 9? Why 9? The beginning of birth pains. Birth, well, he said birth pains. Well, birth, 9 months. Peace talks, 9 months. We gotta wait and see what happens, people. These 9 months, blood moons, tetrad blood moons, to appear on Israeli holidays. According to scientists and eschatologists, it always seems that these blood moons happen on some very important day in history. I would love to make a video on this, but I'm going to have to save that for later. But I will say that these blood moons always happen on some very important date in history. The last blood moon was 48 years ago. Was it 40? I think it was. I think it was about 40 years ago. 19, yeah. Something like that. It was about 48 years ago, and I'm trying to think here, and forgive me if I'm a bit slow. So, it was about 48 years ago, I want to say, if I'm doing my math right. And guess what? I think it was, guess when Israel became a nation again, as Jesus said they would come together, his people would come together again. They became a nation in 1948. What happened on that day? There was a blood moon. And there's been many times. It wasn't just that time there was a blood moon. There's been other important dates in history. I didn't record them all, but I did put one date. And 19 years before Israel became a nation. Was it 19 years before Israel became a nation? I believe so. I think it was 19 years before Israel became a nation, there was another blood moon. I think there was some type of, maybe that was World War II or something like that. Maybe it was going on at the time, but something important happened 19 years before Israel became a nation. I watched a video of Mr. Daryl Maya in 1963. You guys need to check him out. He did a whole video kind of talking about this. And it's funny because Jesus said he uses the sun, the moon, and the stars as signs, just like he uses the sun for seasons. Well, 19 years before Israel became a nation, there's a blood moon, okay? 40 years, or excuse me, there was a blood moon on the day Israel became a nation. 48 years after, 19 years before. That's 1948. What's 1948? I just said it. That's when Israel became a nation. Is there a coincidence there? Maybe I didn't make that clear. It sounds a little bit confusing, but there's no coincidence with God. Just check out Mr. Daryl, well, not Mr. I call him that because I'm a kid, teenager. Daryl Maya 1963. You guys need to check him out. If you see his video, you know exactly what I'm talking about. He made a video just kind of, not all about it, but the first half of the video is just all about this whole kind of tetrad, blood moon, things, important date history stuff. It's great. Gay marriage continues to be more and more legal throughout the U.S. and world. Every time I go to this website called End Time Headlines, and when I click on End Time Headlines, they show they look at the world news. They look at the world news through Bible perspective, and how close we are on the Bible timeline for Jesus coming back. And it's like almost every headline is, mayor of this place legalizing or trying to legalize gay marriage. If I think I'm right, I believe gay marriage is illegal here in Cali. Yes, it is. 7 earthquakes in Israel 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I thought that to be kind of strange too. There were 7 earthquakes. Why 7? There's no coincidence with God, people. 7 earthquakes in Israel. That was 2 weeks ago. And one happened, was it each day? Yes, I believe it was one happened each day. These are signs of the time. God's trying to tell us to wake up. We are on the verge of something big, like huge. But then I want to get this message out to people, because they need to wake up. We're there. I do believe we're in the final generation. If not, then still watch the video, because it's very important, and it shows how close Jesus Christ is. We need to wake up. These are, oh God, blood-colored lake in Sweden. People say, in Sweden, we've never seen anything like it, and this never happens. Yeah, I remember watching that, and I kind of got chills on my back from that, because these people, it was Sweden, and they were like, wait, why did our lake just turn blood? You guys need to check it out. It was blood red, and people were astonished, and one of the guys one of the Swedish people were like, this looks like something from out of the Book of Revelation. The Book of Revelation. Very metaphorical, but then again, some of it is literal. A man in New Jersey pastor gets arrested for preaching the Bible in a mall. A man in Michigan gets arrested also for preaching the Bible on the street. Breaking news. I know this may seem boring right now, but it's just so much, and I have so many thoughts spiraling through my head I want to talk next, that I just had to put it in order. I mean, there's too much to talk about, people. Things are moving at an unprecedented rate. Breaking news. Atheists building megachurches to celebrate there being no God at all. What kind of sense does that make? You might as well just go to school and make a club called the Atheist Club and celebrate there. Why do you have to build a atheist megachurch? They call us ridiculous. That looks pretty ridiculous. Building an atheist megachurch to celebrate there being no God at all. People are being killed by atheists, and in the U.S., World War III coming soon. I think that everyone can see that. Former believers, Christian, Jews, etc., build the first Jedi church to worship the Force. Yes, there's actually people now that believe in the Force. You know, Star Wars, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader. Yeah, they built a church. The Jedi Church. Google it up. It's there. It's ridiculous. What? The Big Bang Theory was about the Force. The military trying to take God out of their pledge. I don't know the military pledge or whatever pledge it was, but it's in the military, some specific type of pledge, and they are trying to take God out of it. Nowadays, people are trying to take God out of everything. Like everything you see. You know, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. One nation under God. What's next? Are we gonna see a headline on the news that says, one nation under God has now been taken out of the, it's like, come on. It's been taken out of the Pledge of Allegiance. Is that what we're really going to see one day? Well, I believe so, because if the military is trying to take God out of whatever pledge they're saying, then don't you think one day would happen to America? Not everyone believes in God. There's a God, but they just choose not to deny it. Or they choose to deny it, I'm sorry. They call themselves wise, but they really are foolish. I don't see how people wake up. Russia has a 6.6 earthquake. You know, I've always thought kind of like the Russians always having earthquakes over there, but then again, California is one of those places where they get a lot of earthquakes, and Russia doesn't, so then it's kind of strange to see Russia have a 6.6 earthquake. He said, earthquakes will be in diverse places. Well, in this book it says many places. And when he's talking about diverse places, he's not talking about, oh, one will be over here in this area, and then the other is going to be 2 yards away. He's talking about all over the world. And we're starting to see earthquakes. Scientists are reporting seeing earthquakes coming at unprecedented rates and coming out of nowhere. The number of earthquakes are starting to increase all over the world at rapid rates. Why? Jesus is trying to tell us. He's trying to wake us up. Yeah, Comet Eson has 2 tails now. I think I mentioned that. Signs in the sun, moon, and stars, people. A cyclone. I think this was probably as I was finishing writing my notebook recordings. I just kind of felt like dropping my pencil, really, because it's like after I read this, after what the Philippines has been going through with this typhoon. Wait until you hear this. A cyclone is also headed for Philippines. Are you serious right now? They just finished going through like an apocalyptic signs of the times, people. That's all I can say. But people want to excuse this. To wrap things up, I want to read. Where was it? It was Revelation. People, just to make things clear, whenever this rapture occurs, because I've been, a lot of people have been saying that you're stupid, you're a dumb Christian, the rapture happens before tribulation. I know I did a video on this, but just to be clear, no matter if it happens middle, before, or after, you need to make sure that you have your house in order. God doesn't care about when you knew the rapture was going to happen. I mean, it's not that he didn't care, but that's not important to him. He just wants to know if you loved him, if you confess that he was King of Kings and Lord of Lords, and that he died and rose again. Did you believe in Jesus Christ is what ultimately matters. Where is it? I wanted to, read, where was it here? Sorry guys, forgive me. I'm not used to reading this Bible. It's weird because everything's different. Listen to this. Just listen to this. The Lamb breaks the first 6 seals. As I watched, the Lamb broke the first of the 7 seals on the scroll. Then I heard one of the 4 living beings say with a voice like thunder, "Come!" I looked up and saw a white horse standing there. Its rider carried a bow, and a crown was placed on his head. He rode out to win many battles and gain the victory. When the Lamb broke the 2nd seal, I heard the 2nd living being say, "Come!" Then another horse stepped. Then another horse, I'm sorry. Then another horse appeared, a red one actually. Its rider was given a mighty sword and the authority to take peace from the earth. And there was war and slaughter everywhere. Well, I think that's what we're seeing in the Middle East. What kind of God tells you to go and kill other people? I don't hate Muslim people. I don't. I have nothing against them. It's their false god which kills me. I'm sorry if that sounded offensive or came off the wrong way, but what kind of... kill other people. They're killing other people. And it says in the Bible, they will kill other people thinking that they're doing the right thing, but they don't. They're not. Christians are going around saying, they're trying to hand people Bibles and say, "Please, won't you read the Word with me?" Or, "Do you know Jesus?" I mean, not all Christians, but most. I can guarantee that. Not all Muslims, but then again, we're talking about the Middle East. When do we hear of Christians on headlines saying the Christian beheaded a Muslim? Christians are going around saying like, "Oh, do you know Jesus? Give your life today." And we're going around in such a peaceful way, but then Islam is a religion of peace. Okay, so it says right here, when the Lamb broke the 3rd seal, I heard the 3rd living being say, "Come." I looked up and saw a black horse, and its rider was holding a pair of scales in his hand. And I heard a voice from among the 4 living beings say, "A loaf of wheat bread of 3 loaves of barley will cost a day's pay, and don't waste the olive oil and wine." When the Lamb broke the fourth seal, I heard the fourth living being say, "Come." I looked up and saw a horse whose color was pale green. Its rider was named Death, and his companion was the Grave. These were two. This is not the KJV, sorry. These two were given authority over 1/4 of the earth to kill with the sword and famine and disease and wild animals. When the Lamb broke the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of all who had been martyred or slain for the word of God, and for being faithful in their testimony. They shouted to the Lord and said, "O sovereign Lord, holy and true, how long before you judge the people who belong to this world and avenge our blood for what they have done to us?" Then a white robe was given to each of them, and they were told to rest a little bit longer until the full number of their brothers and sisters, their fellow servants of Jesus, who were to be martyred, had joined them. I watched as the Lamb broke the sixth seal, and there was a great earthquake. The sun became as dark as black cloth, and the moon became as red as blood. The moon became as red as blood. That's a blood moon. So obviously something important in history is about to happen here. Remember, the book of Revelations is not in chronological order. Then the stars of the sky fell to the earth like green figs falling from a tree shaken by a strong wind. The sky was rolled up like a scroll, and all the mountains and islands were moved from their places. Then everyone, it says this, then everyone, the kings of the earth, the rulers, the generals, the wealthy, the powerful, and every slave and free person, all hid themselves in the caves and among the rocks of the mountains, and they cried. Well, everyone, considering the fact that these everyone, people, or those who deny Jesus Christ and never, and they cried to the mountains and the rocks, "Fall on us and hide us from the face of the one who sits on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of their wrath has come, and who is able to survive?" God's people will be preserved. That is chapter 7. I'm not going to go that far, but I'm telling you, people, we're in the times Jesus spoke of. Stop. Just listen. I don't care who you are, what you've done, because you can always ask for forgiveness from Jesus Christ. He is the way, He is the truth, and He is the life. That's like the boldest statement anyone's ever said. I am the way. I am the truth, and I am the life. I just hope that this video, this 42-minute video, can encourage Christians to really, especially the youth, because when I make these videos, I reach out, yes, to the general public of, adults and stuff, because adults, they can sit back for an hour and listen to this, but the youth, 15 through 18 through 19, that they'll hear this, because my friends, I swear, I don't swear, it just makes me a little mad that my friends, because Jesus is that important to me, that it makes me mad just to know that my friends don't know Christ. They claim to. They don't read a Bible, they don't go to church, they don't pray, they don't worship. Maybe they do pray, but praying's not enough, not anymore. It's not enough. We need to do more than the average. We need more than church. We need to go out and start telling people about Christ. This is telling people about Christ. This is preaching the gospel to all the world, and then the end will come. The end, it's here, but then we're talking about the end. But anyway, I reach out to the youth, because many love to deny Jesus Christ. Many love to deny that there's a God. All I can say is that, seriously, my chemistry teacher, he is an atheist. He was talking about Noah's Ark, and he said, Noah's Ark, it has a good moral, but it's a really dumb story that it never happened. How can you take 2 of each animal onto an ark? I'm like, it may have been a story, but still. It's God. God can do anything. That's like the number one. That's like everyone. Everyone knows that. Atheist, Christian, Jew, Buddhist, God can do anything. I just hope that people finally wake up and accept who he is before it is too late. Because there's coming a time when Jesus is going to say, that's the last one. That's that last person who accepted him. And then God's going to be like, okay, you know what to do. We rehearsed this. It's been written for 2,000 years. It's time to go settle. Settle the deal. Settle what Satan did on this earth. Put an end to sin forever. Give your life to Jesus today. I hope this video did encourage you to wake up. If it didn't, then I just pray for you and hope that you'll be able to, that your eyes will open and you'll be able to see that Jesus is Lord of Lords, He's King of Kings, and He is coming back one day. God bless you, and I'll see you guys. Just kidding. I'll see you guys tomorrow.